it's inevitable that at some point there are going to be issues raised in a house, and that could be issues with a neighbour, or it could be issues within a house where there's a disagreement, there's an argument. My wife and I, we've been running these houses for 6 years now. We have a total of 55 tenants, and over that 6 years we've had a total of 200 tenants in total. And we've had about 5 tenants where we've had to request that they change or improve some of their behaviour for the house remaining harmonious, and 5 where we've actually had to ask the people to leave, the tenants to leave. Of the 5 who have left, only 3 of those did we actually have to issue a Section 21, and 2 of them left through informal communication with the tenants. Where we've reached a position where it's clearly there's a bad tenant and they need to leave the property to ensure it remains harmonious, we go through a number of steps. Firstly, gather as much evidence and information as possible from visiting the house, talking to the other tenants, so that you can be clear about the issues and the arguments you want to raise with the issue with the tenant who's a bad tenant. I also suggest that people speak to a specialist or get some professional advice on how to deal with that specific issue, because not every bad tenant issue is the same, so it's good to get other people's advice. And then I usually approach the tenant direct to explain what the situation is, that it's not comfortable with them in the house, and really we think this house is not suitable for them. I try to see if it's possible for the individual to leave through verbal communication, often incentivise them, not by paying them to leave, but offering them that there will be no charges and that they can leave as soon as they want without any particular charges. If I find that the tenant disagrees or doesn't believe they're causing an issue or is found to be lying to me, then I go straight to a Section 21 and it becomes a formal process then. And it's at that stage, and actually throughout the whole stage, communication is critical, both to the tenant who's causing the issue, but also the other tenants in the house. Because most tenants won't realise that a Section 21 is going to take 2 months. So they think when you tell them that the tenant will be leaving, they're thinking, hey, this might happen in a week or 2, and you have to explain that no, you've got to grin and bear this for a while, so please bear with us as we go through this process. And make it clear to the tenant who's leaving what your expectations are of them, as well as to the tenants who are staying, what they can expect. And then usually, in my experience, the tenants who have been asked to leave have left without issues, they've left amicably, and there's not been a problem. And then I usually look to try and give a little treat to the tenants who are remaining afterwards, maybe a few bottles of wine, some food, some new cushions, something to thank them for having gone through the experience, and the fact that we put in there a tenant that turned out to be not as good as we'd hoped. And that usually, again, lifts them up, and it starts the whole process with a new good tenant coming in.